Hello students. So as we have discussed about the concept of management by objectives, and we have discussed the importance, characteristics and principle. Now we will see what are the conditions that influence the management by objectives. So very famous management thinker Peter Drucker has given this certain conditions that influence the management by objectives. Let us see them one by one. That objectives are determined with the employees, because here in management by objective, it encourages the participation and commitment of the employee in decision making. So objectives cannot be determined without the participation of employees, because it is not independent activity, it is dependent activity with the participation of employees. That where we are fixing the objectives for the company. So the meaning is that participation of employee is required there. In case employees are not participating actively, then whatever the goal is set will be impacted. It will not actually able to make organization progress or grow, right? So that is why this is the goal, to become a condition that informs employee about their participation. When objectives are formulated at both quantitative and qualitative levels. Let us say as we are saying that objectives will be both in terms of qualitative and quantitative levels. So objectives must be challenging and motivating to the employees, because sometimes you have formulated your qualitative goals, sometimes you have a quantitative objective. So it should be having certain measures, quantitative or qualitative measures. If you have numbers also, say a process also, you have to achieve certain qualitative number of objectives or quantitative objectives in number. So that should be the qualitative and quantitative levels there in the organization. They need to be challenging and motivating to your employees. As we have taken the example of manufacturing car, where the objectives for production department is also set, the sales target is also set depending upon the nature of their work. They should be challenging. At the same time, this challenge will motivate your employees. There is actually an incentive which is associated with the motivation purpose. There is a revenue for me if I achieve my target. So if I challenge, if I stretch myself to take the challenge, that will increase, that is to increase the more sales, right? And then daily feedback on the state of affairs is needed. This condition will also influence the management by objective or management by objective, because if you get a daily feedback on your efforts, if you get a certain good level of coaching, then you would find in yourself that you are highly motivated, you are trying to improve yourself. The levels of coaching you are getting, it actually developing a little sense of challenging and motivation in you. If you have provide daily updates, sometimes it would be a time consuming process, right? But there is always a reward is given for achieving the intent objectives is necessary. So the basic principle for growth and development is not only for the punishment. Basic principle of management by objective is only for the growth and development of an individual. It is actually helping you to see, actually growing you, actually knowing you, doing your activities, and actually aligning with your organizational goals and your goals. For the sake of punishment, it is not actually, eventually it will help you to evaluate your progress in this way. So these are certain influencing conditions that one can have in the management by objective style of the organization. Now let us see what are the steps of management by objectives. So there are 5 steps involved here. You can see, starting this management by objective, let us go to each of these steps. The first is determining the organizational objectives. So this is the entry point where management by objective activity actually starts. Unless I do not know my organizational goal, then it is not possible, or it is impossible to set our functional goal, our departmental goal, our divisional goal. So now if you know your organizational goal, you will be able to decide your divisional, departmental, or your individual goal. As we have taken the example of manufacturing car, which have given you the yearly target of achieving 100 crore gross sale, right? Then it is divided for a particular segment or product line or a one unit, that 1 crore is to be achieved by a particular unit. Now then it means that you are translating the organizational objective to units and ultimately to the employee's goal. So the second step is about translating the organizational objectives to employee's goal. So in order to translate organizational objective as a wide, it is very important to translate to the employee level. As we have decided, 1 crore is for unit. So in unit, number of employees were working in the marketing department or in sales department, they have to set this 1 crore goal and they can split it into the individual goals by knowing the potential capability of the employee of achieving a target, maybe quarterly, maybe monthly, or maybe weekly. Let us say if I take one product, a particular product can make 100 crores in a year, then I should divide it into 3 segment, 3 level or quarterly level, and then I try it to bring to my employee level by stimulating this into step 3, stimulating for employees participation, right? So here I need to encourage my employees to participate, to stimulate. This is what our organizational goal. Now let us come and participate and discuss how do we can fix our own level in our functional area, in our divisional area, or our departmental level, or regional level, or in any specific area level, or the goals of the organization, so that you will be able to translate your goal and achieve it, right? Then step 4 is about monitoring of progress. This is very much important in every stages. So once you are able to stimulate the participation, then you need to keep in mind that there is a SMART goal. You need to set the small goals for every individual that could be measurable, there could be the indicator, so that you can evaluate the employees' participation in goal setting and achieving them, whatever may be the target set by the employees. Now we need to measure it, right? Actually they are achieving or not, and this is the main motive behind this monitoring the progress, because they are already fixed their weekly targets, monthly target, quarterly targets. Now you need to be able to measure it, right? So you are setting this into the indicators, measuring indicators. Then evaluation and rewards for achieving it. Now once you have monitored the progress is done, you need to evaluate, right? You are able here to continuously achieve your weekly target, monthly target, quarterly targets. So you need to provide certain rewards to your employees so that they can get motivated. We need to provide them quarterly achievements, recognition in the organization, which can be associated in certain percentage of incentives, right? Say for example, 100% incentives or quarterly targets, you may get 10% as an incentive on the sales. right? This could be the thing. So in addition to this process, management by objective is always have some more steps which can relate this goal setting. You can add certain steps into it, or you can have this minimum 5 steps in the management by objectives. By adapting this style or having these steps, performing these steps, you can definitely achieve the goal of management by objective, that is bringing your employees into the deciding the objectives and achieving the objectives. Okay, so this is what the steps of management by objectives. Now the advantages. Here are certain advantages management by objectives will provide you. The first one is encourage detailed planning. So actually managers do detailed planning, right? It focuses on setting the controls, goals. So actually managers, it encourages the managers because they are engaging their employees, their subordinate, in setting the goals. Then reduce the role ambiguity and confusion, because there would be the clarity of their roles, what is required, what is the activity they should do. If there is no because there is no ambiguity, there is a very clear and clarity in their work, and they will get more clarity about their responsibility and their authority. The responsibility and authority of employees and manager are clearly established, for which managers can set measurable target and standard of work, right? As we have seen, in characteristics, quantitative and qualitative measures should be always set there. So there should be a lot of clarity in setting of each of these goals, because employees and team members have to have a goal, and a team leader that should have a goal similarity, right? Then it will also create the awareness of the organizational goal as they get involved in the decision process. So it will make them more understand what is expected of them, what actions they need to take to meet these expectations. Then it also highlight the need and area of training and career development. As I said this, you are able to evaluate, or you may not be able to evaluate a progress. Some may be failing to achieve the target. It is actually indicating the deficiency in the performance of the employees, which means it is ultimately indicating you certain areas of improvement. So this deficiency need to be addressed by the manager, whether he should replace the people, whether he should give them training, right? This deficiency area need to be taken care of by the management. With the help of training, he can reduce this deficiency, or with the help of career development, he can reduce this deficiency, right? It also encourages a teamwork, because manager is a team leader and also a team member. When a team member become a team leader, so there is also a scope that you are able to track the need of deficiencies, that will make you able to understand the training needs and the career development needs of the employee, right? Apart from this system, which also provides you the periodic evaluation, right? As we know, there is a time bounded in the management by objectives, so it will provide you a specific periodic evaluation. It actually helps the employee to know how they are performing in every quarter, right? It also improves the better communication between manager and subordinate, since both of the parties are participating in this continuous process. They are interacting regularly. There is a conversation between each of them, is actually improving the communication, right? Then it also encourages the teamwork and strength, the organizational structure and operational strategies as a whole. We can see it because there is collective participation of both the parties, the management and the employees at each level. Largely the success of this management by objectives is dependent on the top management, right? How top management will decide the first goal and they should also provide sufficient time for their managers to participate with their employees, which is collectively deciding their goals and do further proceedings, right? Then as I said, it is depend upon the management support. It is going to strengthen the organizational structure and operational strategies by setting realistic goals, by setting measurable goals and assign them in a proper way so that the individual can achieve it, right? So these are certain advantages of management by objective. Now their disadvantages. The success of management by objective is largely depend upon the top management, as they are the deciding body. They decide the first goal and then it is given to the next level, to the managers at various level, and their employees are going to participate. So this is the first disadvantage, that ultimate goal is decided by the top management, then it is given to their the managers and their employees to decide, because it is largely going to depend upon the top management support, whether they restrict the participation of manager or employee in deciding the ultimate goal. Okay, then the subordinate may be under pressure in case the objectives are unrealistic, which is not attainable, or which may be the very bigger targets are set for them. So they may feel under pressure, right? The next is the process involves too much time, because we are involving the management, the managers and employees together. So there may be the clashes, there may be the more discussions, they may be asking more clarity about the objective. They may be try to change it because it is not attainable or because it is not in their favor. So it will take too much time, it will take a long time. Okay, then the process, the group goals achievement is a difficult task. To achieve a goal, it is a difficult task sometimes, because group may be independent, may be made of independent individuals, right? Those who have their own different goals, their working styles are different. They may be sometimes challenging to work collectively. So this is a very difficult task. Group goals achievement is a difficult task. The integration with other systems like forecasting, budgeting is very poor. So integration is here we mean by the work system. You know, every department might have better information, better access to their resources. This is not the case, because they are allocated based on the prioritized need of the organization. Okay, as we said, forecasting and budgeting, if there is very poor, so the integration between the marketing system, production system, if any one of them is failed, their performance is not going to improve or not going to make any changes in there. It is not always believed that all managers would be able to decide the target. There may be some managers lacking behind their skills. They will not be capable of doing all these exercises. Maybe some managers are really good and having the skills, but there are certain limitations, right? Then frequently challenge socio-economic and technological environment affect the stability. You know, there are constant changes are happening around over the world. The socio-economic, the technological environment are one of them. So we are talking about this. There is chances of future uncertainty in the business environment, which we very well know, which is going to be very uncertain, will actually or eventually is going to impact on our business. So management by objective is not providing the sufficient scope to consider this impact of environment in deciding the management by object or the goals for each team or the target which is set by the team levels and functional levels, right? So that you are subsequently reviewing it. Okay, we have seen this certain disadvantages of management by objectives. Thank you students for listening. So here we have completed our concept of management by objectives. As we have started in the lecture, the other parts is described in this PPT, voiceover PPT video. You can refer it for better understanding. Thank you.